Attention. Attention. Stand by for transmission.
Who among you will rise to the top? Prepare for combat. Prepare for UpRyse.
Welcome to the world, no heroes and villains. Welcome to the war, we've only begun. So higher and higher you chase it. It's deep in your blood, go and take it. This is your moment. Take to the skies, go and prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you.
He is a product of the Iron City Wrestling Academy, weighing in tonight at 303 pounds, Officer Dan Murphy!
Welcome to UpRyse Pro Wrestling. My name's Jim Amato, being joined by Pittsburgh legend Mr. Paul Atlas. June 28th of 2019, we are here at the Stronghold for the next chapter of UpRyse, as once again some of the brightest young prospects look to make their mark here in the Stronghold. This is a man, a real roughneck. Officer Dan Murphy, who win, lose, or draw, has always made an impact here at UpRyse.
That's right.
And introducing his opponent. From the Fight Society Institute, weighing in tonight at 165 pounds, Zeke Mercer!
This young man, Zeke Mercer, has been making waves throughout the Pittsburgh scene for about the past year and a half. He is very young in his wrestling career, but he's a young man that has been turning heads each and every time he's been inside the squared circle, and this is a whole new chance, a whole new chapter as we watch the growth of one Zeke Mercer.
That's it, this young man out of the Fight Society Institute, he's going to bring that hard rockin' style to the Stronghold this week against Officer Dan, who we know is one half of that hellacious tag team known as Lawless in Order.
Yeah, thankfully the gavel is not here this evening.
I'm good with that.
Officer Dan Murphy, as I said, win, lose, or draw, makes an impact here, but he's a man that's looking to rebound because he has a pair of losses against Davion Traylor in his last two UpRyse appearances. So you know that Officer Dan does not want to be bumped off the radar, so to speak, here at UpRyse.
Yeah, UpRyse has definitely not been too kind to Officer Dan so far.
Zeke Mercer, as we heard in our introductions, a product of the Fight Society promotion in Pittsburgh, has done very, very well there, but I don't know if even in that environment that he's run into someone quite as rough as Officer Dan Murphy. Officer Dan is a big man that has a lot of agility and obviously a bona fide mean streak to go with it.
Yeah, Zeke Mercer has not really taken on a man of this size before. He has definitely used his speed and agility, and he's going to have to do that tonight if he wants to pull out a W against Officer Dan.
Certainly, Mercer's going to have to look to stick and move. Does not want to be boxed in when he's in there with Dan Murphy.
Yeah, he's going to have to use every inch of that ring to his advantage, that's for sure.
But make no mistake about it. I mean, obviously, you can see it on your screen here. There is a definite size disadvantage for Zeke Mercer, but he has a heart as big as anybody. He will not back down. You're going to see that he's going to fight full force like he's doing right here.
Yeah,
he's going to take the fight right to Officer Dan, who just shrugs Mercer off there. Again, avoids the contact, and there's some more of that stick and move philosophy here.
Yeah, work on the lower part, work on the lower half, work on the legs, chop the big tree down.
Mercer avoids the contact. And Officer Dan put on the brakes, too much weight.
That is definitely not a smart move on Zeke's part.
Officer Dan, near 300 pounds, is just ragdolling Mercer around here. Nice technique, nice leverage maneuver. Able to use the technique to neutralize the power advantage.
Yeah, Officer Dan seems a bit surprised that Zeke Mercer was able to snap him over so easily like that.
However, those very quick, agile maneuvers are trademarks for Zeke Mercer, who just buried 2 boots in the sternum of Officer Dan. But Officer Dan is a big man, going to take a lot to take Officer Dan off of his feet. Tilt-a-whirl head scissors, again another leverage maneuver, sends Officer Dan to the floor.
I think he more or less caught him off balance. Zeke didn't get the full head scissor move, but he had enough momentum going that he took Officer Dan down.
Oh man, big contact center ring. Zeke hesitated and paid for it.
Yeah, just like that, the size advantage comes into play, and Zeke Mercer is down on it. And look at this, he's just picking him up like he's nothing.
That's a deadlift.
Might be looking at a fall-away. No, backbreaker. Thought he was setting him up for a fall-away slam. And there it is.
And launches Mercer across the ring.
Yeah, he almost spiked him right on his head the way he came down.
And obviously Officer Dan very proud of himself. And this is what Dr. Dan's going to look to try to implement here. A very methodical, meticulous pace to assert his dominance and power over his much smaller, younger opponent.
Yeah, just look how easily he picked Zeke Mercer up. Another backbreaker, working on that back area. You know, that's going to ground Zeke Mercer. If his back tightens up on him, he's not going to be able to fly. He's not going to be able to move around that ring.
And man, Mercer almost hit the post that time.
That was close there. Snake eyes almost into the ring post.
And Zeke is clearly in a bad way here, but
he may be out on his feet.
I'm telling you what, Paul, if Officer Dan hesitates, he's going to be looking up at the lights.
Well, yeah, he's got him down now, and I mean, you can see the look in Zeke's eyes. He's a little rattled right now, but don't give him a chance to catch up.
Zeke Mercer may be new to the UpRyse promotion. Paul, you and I have seen Zeke Mercer in action. This kid, you give him a second shot, just one chance, he can make you pay for it.
Without a doubt, you know, he's no stranger to combat, you know, being from Fight Society, and he's going to take it to Officer Dan with every chance he gets.
And Officer Dan just squashes Mercer in the corner that time.
Setting him up for another one.
Telegraphed it and paid for it. Mercer rallying here. Oh man, Officer Dan caught him and drops him across the knee. Nasty backbreaker.
You could see right in Zeke Mercer's eyes. He knew he was in trouble there.
Zeke barely gets that left shoulder up. That's the trademark tenacity that we've talked about here.
You got to give this young man credit. That was a heck of a move he just took, and he was still able to get that shoulder off the mat.
Paul, did you know Officer Dan was actually trying to ticket the fans that were in the parking lot this afternoon?
Oh, well, I guess I might want to pull away from that fire hydrant I'm parked by.
And this here, again, is in Dan Murphy's wheelhouse because he's using his height advantage to try to squeeze and contort the breathing, trying to compress the rib cage of Mercer.
Using all that strength, once again, working to tighten up that lower back. That's going to definitely ground Zeke's offense if he can do that.
5 minutes gone by, 5 minutes.
Mercer pounding away at the collarbone.
That big boot landed right square on the chin.
Yeah, I think Murphy measured him and made him pay there. He suckered Zeke in.
And you know, those are not standard wrestling boots he's wearing. That's a tack boot that prison guards wear.
Shoots him in here. Mercer hits the buckle. And this time, Mercer gets sandwiched.
One thing Officer Dan is definitely doing is he is taking full advantage of the size differential here, using all his weight every time he leans into Zeke Mercer.
And look at how measured the approach is from Dan Murphy.
Oh, he's definitely methodical. He got caught napping there.
He got way too cocky. We talked about it. You give Zeke a chance, he's going to make you pay. Bicycle kick misses. Uncharacteristic maneuver. Shoulders down.
Oh, he almost got him there. Officer Dan was almost 0 for 3 at UpRyse.
And how much egg on the face would there have been if Dan Murphy gets put down by the debuting Zeke Mercer, and Zeke is perched up top.
Here he comes.
Cross body,
He caught it all.
No, just
again.
barely. Mere inches away from an upset.
Yeah, Officer Dan is definitely fighting for his wrestling life right now against Zeke Mercer. He might want to not worry about that whistle and start worrying about Zeke.
Mercer now psyching himself up. And Officer Dan using referee Nick Davidson as a shield. Incidental contact, I don't think so, but Murphy just plants Mercer face first.
Spiked him right into the canvas.
And that's it.
Here is your winner as the result of a pinfall, Officer Dan Murphy.
Not exactly a clean victory, but a win in the record books for Dan Murphy.
Now trying to exhibit maybe some sportsmanship here. Yeah, that's about the extent of the sportsmanship. Out the window.
Officer Dan, obviously not exactly the most upstanding citizen, but he is victorious here at UpRyse. Action continues next here exclusively on the Indie Wrestling Network.
First, making his way to the ring, representing the Team Vision Dojo in Orlando, Florida, weighing in tonight at 200 pounds, he is the American attraction, MV Young!
MV Young making his UpRyse debut is a young man that is from Pittsburgh, but has branched out all over the place, literally across the country, is MV Young. A young man that, as we heard from Red Watson, trained in Orlando, Florida, but has competed as far away as the UK.
And introducing his opponent, of the Fight Society Institute by way of level 4, weighing in tonight at 20,000 megapixels. He is the Bro-anomaly, Bro-heem.
My chain hanging 20 gold on my ankle. I come from what a lot of people might think I'm faking. I know these words that take them straight to the dirty.
MV Young's got the mic and looks like he's heading to the back. What's going on here?
I don't know.
Bro, I saw you complaining on Twitter that you weren't getting enough attention, and being as I have a bar fight in Brooklyn in 5 days, I thought I could tune up right now and you can come and prove why you're so underrated. Or you could keep bitching and moaning. It's up to you.
Well, I thought we were going to have a wrestling contest here, but clearly that's not the case. MV Young wants to fight, and Brohemoth is going to oblige him as these two are exchanging shots in the aisleway. And we haven't had a bell yet because these two haven't even gotten the ring together yet. I'm not sure what sparked this animosity between these two, but clearly some words were exchanged before this event.
Yeah, it seems like social media, some type of an argument started out. And hey,
there's a shocker.
Really? This day and age, who'd have thunk? But I think Envy Young may be regretting calling out
Envy Young
Brohemoth.
just bounced off the wall, ricocheting like a basketball from that impact.
Yeah, I've heard Brohemoth compared to being somewhat of a young Shane Taylor. He's kind of proving out right now with these heavy shots.
Come on, guys, take it away. Well, as I said, oh, look out. They're on concrete out there.
Yeah, there's no padding here at the Stronghold.
Oh, man. Envy Young puts on the brakes. Sends Brohemoth off the post. And I was getting ready to talk about the pedigree of Envy Young, but we don't have any time for that because this thing is completely broken down.
Yeah, this is nothing but heavy shots from both men.
And finally, we get an official bell. Who would have thought?
We got a match. 5 minutes in, we got a match.
Envy Young, a man that, as I said, was based out of Pittsburgh, but has branched out all over the place. Is currently based out of New York, where he competes regularly against some of the most well-known independent athletes across the entire independent circuit. And clearly, Envy Young is very proud of himself, and maybe looking to make an example of Brohemoth in his return to Pittsburgh here.
I think he definitely is. You know, I don't know.
Spinal tap. That was nasty. You heard the contact there.
Yeah, I'm at a bit of a loss. I don't know a lot about Envy Young, but from what I'm seeing right now, he is one hellacious competitor. I mean, to call the big man out before the bell even started and go toe-to-toe with him, I mean, you just don't do that.
Man, stiff headbutt from Brohemoth.
Yeah, these guys are laying the lumber here at this point.
Just take a listen to that contact. Nice high kick. Almost a liver kick. That's a trademark of a Dutch kickboxing, believe it or not, Paul.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, the legendary Boss Rutan used a liver kick as one of his primary weapons. We're seeing Envy Young use those educated feet very well here.
Look at the way he takes Brohemoth down to the mat and just grinds into him.
And to your point, if you see the angle that he's cinching in that headlock, a much more slanted angle, for lack of a better term, to add to the torque of the neck.
That is not your typical headlock.
Brohemoth, the big man, trying to work his way back up to a vertical base, and does. Elbow to the crown of the head, that'll jar your neck.
Yeah, Bro likes to have fun. He likes the video game theme technology, but you know what? This guy is a heavy hitter from the streets. He's going to knock your block off if he gets a chance.
That is contact. That is a dull thud as the forearm connects with the jaw of Brohemoth. You know, Paul, I got to tell you that I think that Brohemoth may have come into this matchup expecting a wrestling match and was taken a little off guard when this matchup devolved into such a physical fight. You know, this is a fist fight early on.
I mean, like I said, Envy Young come out here and he basically called Bro out. He said, dude, I don't want to match with you. I want to fight you.
Listen to these shots. Misdirection by Brohemoth, and he just pulled Envy Young over.
Envy just bounced off the big man.
Envy Young may have gotten a little overconfident. And the big man is rolling. Brohemoth asserting his size advantage. And again, runs Envy over like a truck.
Look out, here comes the big man setting up for the big. Oh, yeah.
Proton. Shoulder over.
Oh, that was close. You don't get much closer to that, Jim.
And Envy Young came out here with a lot of bravado, obviously, a lot of trash talk. If he comes up on the short end of this contest, it will certainly be not a nice homecoming
that'll be all
for his
naught.
return to Pittsburgh.
He better be able to back up those words he started this match out with.
And now we're seeing the result of such a physical matchup early on, as both men trying to work their way back to their feet. Envy Young's up, but favoring those ribs.
Yeah, Bro's a little out of it. You see him holding the jaw, but he thinks he has him now.
Envy suckered him in. Envy caught him coming in. Elevates himself. Tornado DDT.
He planted him firmly.
You said it correctly there, Paul.
I got it.
MV Young with a sense of urgency here, going to take a chance, perched up top.
He's going for it all, home run ball.
Missile drop kick,
Caught
2
him
feet
square.
firmly in the sternum.
Oh yeah, caught him square in the chest. But look, Brohemoth is right back up.
Diving European uppercut by MV Young, some of that English influence after his tour of the UK a few years ago.
He's hooking him up here.
Bro puts on the brakes,
Yeah,
trying
using that size advantage.
use his weight, use that low center of gravity. What a physical fight here.
Look out.
And MV Young down to the canvas.
Wow, I cannot believe he kicked out of that. I thought that was it.
And neither can
5 minutes
Brohemoth.
gone by, 5 minutes.
Brohemoth looked shocked.
Come on, gentlemen.
Brohemoth landed that maneuver perfectly. And MV Young is proving why he has that national pedigree, why he competes all over the place. Because he is a well-polished athlete, no doubt about it.
He's showing that international flavor as well as that. Wow.
Gut wrench German, that is a trademark of MV's offense.
And that was pure power on MV's part.
And this could be all here. Paul, I got to be honest. You and I, we've seen Brohemoth compete a lot, and it's very, very rare that we see Brohemoth in this type of jeopardy.
Yeah, he's been off his feet for a while now, and that does not happen very often.
This really shows you how well-rounded MV Young is.
Bro's got him up now.
Elevates him and plants MV Young down to the canvas, and that'll do it.
Here's your winner as the result of a pinfall, the Bro-anomaly, Bro-heem.
It was a very hard-hitting matchup, but it is Brohemoth victorious. But make no mistake about it, he knew he was in for a fight, as the IndyWrestling.us brings you a barn burner contest. Keep in mind, this matchup and other UpRyse action exclusively here on the IndyWrestling.us.
From the Ohio Pro Wrestling Academy, she hails from the wasteland, Max the Impaler!
One of the most physically imposing young ladies you will find anywhere in professional wrestling today.
Welcome to the wasteland.
The fighting phenom, known simply as Max, is back at UpRyse, and she has left a trail of broken bodies here in the Stronghold.
That's right. She is a strong woman competitor, but she is also as agile as she is strong, and she will leave you broken and bruised.
And introducing her opponent. He was trained by Jason Kincaid, weighing in tonight at 230 pounds. He is the Arson brother, Benny Conley.
A counterculture athlete, to be sure. Benny Conley walks marks to the beat of his own drum, but if he's not careful, he may not be walking out of this matchup at all because he is in there with a very powerful waiting. And here we go once again, June 28th of 2019. My name is Jim Murata, joined by Pittsburgh legend Paul Atlas. UpRyse action continues here exclusively on the Indie Wrestling Network. We have Max taking on Benny Conley. Conway, a little bit of a flower child.
I'm seeing that.
Max, not so much.
Nah, not at all. I don't think she's ever smelled a flower in her life. I think that's all that needs to be said about that.
That's a little unsanitary.
But look at the look on Max's face. She just wants to tear this guy apart.
She really gets pleasure out of hurting people. She does.
Without a doubt.
It scares the hell out of me, to tell you the truth.
Oh, she could eat you for lunch.
Here I go, right? Yeah.
I believe as much as Benny Conley may like having a good time, he may be in for a very abrupt awakening here.
Hey, this may not end well for him.
Yeah, the Greco-Roman knuckle lock, and as you illustrated early on here, Max has competed in amateur strongwoman contest before her time in professional wrestling. She's got those thick thighs to have that powerful lower body, not to mention just stepping on metacarpals, and that works too.
Yes, it does. Yeah, if I was Benny Conley, I wouldn't be too worried about these fans, and I'd keep my eyes on Max at all times, because this young lady can just take you off your feet at no time and
or she'll just snatch you by the throat.
That works too for her.
Conway breaks the hold there, wisely going for a side headlock, trying to get Witterell some control over this situation here. I believe Conway may finally realize that he's in there with a young lady that could knock his lights out. Very wisely from to hang on to that headlock.
Yeah, he's got that cinched in pretty tight. Max looking for a way out of it. She backs him up.
Shoots him off here. He puts on the brakes. Again, that's really ring positioning dictates a lot of that. Conway's hanging on for dear life, and I can't blame him.
I'll tell you what, I'm actually surprised that Max has not been able to shug her off. Oh, here he is with a nice shoulder tackle.
And look at Max just taunting Conway here.
Yeah, there's a lot of disdain in this young lady's heart, I'll tell you that right now.
She wants Conway to get back up so she can knock him down again. And right back to the headlock.
Yeah, that's solid ring technology right there.
You know, clearly Benny Conway is a little eccentric, but he has a high ring IQ to know how to control Max, for lack of a better term.
Nice legal break.
And that was just blunt force trauma. Yeah. Conway's head bounced off the mat that time.
Knocked him square on his wallet with one move.
Max elevates Conway, has him up on the shoulders.
Picks him up. Samoan drop.
And she hurled her own body backwards for added impact. You know, Paul, as we're here on the Indie Wrestling Network, which if you're watching us on your free trial, don't forget to subscribe for only $5.99 a month.
Come on, you can afford that.
UpRyse, special features, archives, all kind of good stuff. But one of the things I wanted to ask you, being that you broke into the wrestling business in the early 90s when independent wrestling was in its infancy in a lot of ways, what can you say, opportunity-wise, how important is it for these young athletes to have this stage to showcase their skills?
Well, I'll tell you what, back then we had like just local television, and right now with the advent of the internet and how things have come, you could literally be seen all over the world. So anytime you have the opportunity to be on something like the Indie Wrestling Network, you have got to shine at your utmost importance, because you never know who's going to be seeing it. You could be seen by anyone in any promotion, any part of the world, literally. So you want to put your game face on each and every time.
And what a game face Max has as she launches Conway out of the corner.
I don't think Max ever takes the game face off. I've seen her walking around the back just storming, looking for somebody to chew on or beat on. She don't care.
I've literally seen her punch doors.
I've seen her punch doors with people.
Cover here. Finds 2.5.
She's opened doors with young men's faces already.
And look at this. She's got Conley all stretched out of sorts.
Oh, yeah. Look
wrenching on the shoulder, the neck.
She's using all leverage.
Oh, man. Drops the 12-6 elbow right on the collarbone.
That's gonna definitely leave a mark.
Those elbow strikes like that are actually illegal in mixed martial arts, but are obviously well within the rules of professional wrestling.
And then look how she grinds that elbow into the collarbone and neck area. Now going to use his hair as a weapon against him.
Neck crank. Just trying to wrench and twist, contort the neck.
Yeah, I don't think the ref understands.
Gone by 5 minutes.
I don't think the ref sees it, but she's actually got his hair wrapped around his throat.
Now he sees it, but even Nick Davidson, obviously a little intimidated by Max, and I don't blame him.
Well, yeah.
I don't want to be within striking distance of this young lady.
I've been in that ring with some of the strongest around, and I'll tell you what, I would not want to go up against Max.
Notice how Max just takes her time in there. She really has fun beating other people up.
Oh, she's methodical with it. It's almost like a torturous thing that she just loves. She just gains pleasure out of injuring people.
Conway going to try to rally here. It's unorthodox, but he's obviously fighting with a sense of desperation here.
He has to. He's got to get himself together here. Max is going to be on the winner's end of the purse without a doubt.
Up and over. Back kick may have caught Max in the ear.
Yeah, she's holding that ear right now. I don't think her equilibrium looks off a little bit.
Missile drop kick connects. Will it be enough
Got it hooked.
Keep Max She gets that left shoulder up very quickly there.
And that just shows you the strength, tenacity, and power of Max to take that kind of punishment and kick out strongly.
Max.
She might be looking for that sit-out move. Oh.
Full Nelson slam. Conley bounces on impact there. You got to give it to Conway.
Without a doubt. He is.
Guy's taking a beating and he's fighting back.
Yeah, he's gone almost blow for blow with Max, and you don't see that very often.
Max drops the leg. Immediately transitions into a pinfall. But again, Conley's going to get the left shoulder up. At the same time, I have to say, I'm not trying to sell the guy short, but I think Benny Conley's probably on borrowed time here.
Yeah, it's looking that way. But that's just the evil nature of Max.
Max has been relatively unstoppable here at UpRyse, and that trend may continue here. Blue Thunder Bomb, nicely done.
Yeah, but he definitely did not get all of that cover.
May have not gotten enough elevation on that particular maneuver, but again, he's fighting with a sense of urgency, really trying anything to mount some offense against Max.
Yeah, he's taken a lot of punishment so far, but there was a nice side kick right to the jaw of Max.
Ace Crusher. Upset?
No. Max again, digging deep, kicking out.
As much as Conway's trying to protest that count, he has to stay focused. You cannot hesitate when you're in there with Max.
You do not want to take your eye off the ball with this young lady. She will nail you in a heartbeat.
And he can't pander to this audience either. Because this will happen. Max just wailing away.
And there's that spear.
And she cut him in half. No finesse, all impact from Max. Good night.
Got him. Once again.
Here's your winner as the result of a pinfall, Max the Impaler.
Once again, Max using that spear and nailing it full force. She may have broken a rib on Benny Conley with that one.
Perhaps the scariest thing about Max is that she is still in her formative years of professional wrestling. Not only will Max continue to grow by leaps and bounds in terms of her experience, you can bet she will get more and more dangerous each and every time we see her back here in the Stronghold.
Without a doubt, this young lady gets better and better each and every time we see her.
Academy, the team of Jack Manic, Dustin Alexander, and Vance Desmond.
This contingent out of West Virginia, 3 well-known champions. We have seen 2 of these 3 here before. We know what they can do. Jack Manic and Dustin Alexander. Vance Desmond brings a real veteran presence here. And we have a very unique 6-man tag match.
And introducing their opponents. Representing the Stronghold Academy, the team of the successful Saint Jordan Styles, the Viking AJ Matthews, and first class Brandon K.
The boss is in the house. A rare appearance at UpRyse by our owner, Brandon K., representing his Stronghold Academy in this match.
A Pittsburgh legend, a Pittsburgh icon, and the founder of Rise, Brandon K.
And a man who I have gone toe-to-toe with many a time in both of our careers. Teaming with 2 of his young students to bring you this match.
1/3 of this very eclectic, it's the adjective I'll go with.
Okay,
Trio
we'll go with that.
of AJ Matthews, Jordan Styles.
And I still can't get over that's a legit Emmy. I mean, I still can't get over that.
And Jordan Styles, obviously very proud of himself. To be fair, if I won an Emmy, I'd probably take it everywhere with me too.
Well, I think he's the only one proud of himself, though.
Despite all the bravado with that legitimate Emmy, Jordan Styles is very well versed inside those ring ropes.
Well, he's going to have to tonight because he's got his teacher's eye on him in this match.
And conversely, on the other side, Vance Desmond, the trainer of Dustin Alexander and Jack Manic.
So we, without a doubt, have teachers and students versus teachers and students.
Yeah, very unique equation here.
But that's what UpRyse is all about. Opportunity. Opportunity to shine, opportunity to prove, maybe on a slightly smaller stage, that you do belong on the bigger stage.
In the ring right now, Dustin Alexander squares off with Jordan Styles. Waistlock to get us started here. Styles grabs wrist control to escape. Transitions rather seamlessly into that side headlock.
Yeah, both guys right now showing how well their trainers have taught them. Basic wrestling maneuvers back and forth.
Top wrist lock from Alexander. And this is where something as simple as a height advantage could really help or hurt the leverage in a particular maneuver. And look how Jordan Styles rolled through to reverse it into a front chantry. That is very, very well versed, very tactful is Jordan Styles.
Oh, let's face it, despite his bravado over that Emmy, this young man has been trained by one of the best in the Pittsburgh area. A man I trained myself. So he's going to have the basics of professional wrestling, or he would not have made it through the Stronghold Academy. I know that for a fact because Brandon made it through my school, and he makes sure each and every one of his students learns the game the way he did.
Nip up from Alexander. Arm drags him out, nicely done. And a deep arm drag to follow up. Avoids the contact. Sends
Look at the
Tyler
height on that hip toss.
into the lights. And wise wrestling, that is why Alexander and Jack Manic are tag team champions in the state of West Virginia. If you noticed, Alexander brought Styles to their corner before he made the tag. But speaking of tags, here comes AJ Matthews. And Jack Manic, known to take a chance, hurls his body at Matthews. AJ Matthews is a young man that has not found himself yet. He really needs a breakout performance, and this very special six-man tag matchup could be the chance for him.
Yeah, he's just kind of wandered around Rise and UpRyse for the last few years. He's definitely looking for an identity in this business.
I'm not sure if Manic connected entirely with that one. We'll have to see if it was enough. AJ able to escape there.
But again, even though AJ Matthews is looking for that identity, he is a product of the Stronghold Wrestling Academy. So we know he was well versed in professional wrestling, catch as catch can. Well, now he seems to have a little problem with Brandon K here. That might not be a good thing.
I think this is why maybe AJ Matthews has not found himself yet. Somehow Brandon K is going to have to keep up the reputable side of his team here. Collar elbow tie up with Jack Manic, who goes for wrist control immediately, and again using that kamikaze style, using his head as a weapon.
That's a unique thing there. I've never seen a headbutt to the hand before.
And look at the smooth technique of Brandon K. 20 years in the game and still as good as ever. Had the shoulders down momentarily.
Yeah, Brandon has not slowed down a bit.
Back trip, puts the shoulders down again, and he almost caught Manic.
It's just that quick.
Waist lock. But Manic again trying to maintain wrist control. Chops out the legs. It's wise strategy. Limas draw cradle. Now he has the shoulders down. What an exchange here, Paul.
And both men with the nip up. What the heck did you just call that? I thought it was an Oklahoma roll, but maybe I'm just showing my age again.
Well, that was the Mexican version, the Limas strong.
Thank you. I learn something every time I'm out here with you, Jim.
Thanks, Paul. I do what I can. Hey, speaking of which, it is June 28th of 2019. We are less than a week away from the 4th of July. So I have to ask, you debuted right after the Declaration was signed.
Yeah, pretty much.
So what was it like wrestling back?
Hey, we had Ben Franklin there trying to check for lightning, we were outdoors.
I heard your first promo ran next to Poor Richard's Almanac.
Yeah, well, it was a tough act to follow, but I got it in there.
And Matthews brings Alexander in the heart.
Let's get back to what's going on out there, dude. You popped us.
And now Alexander is in the wrong part of town. Jordan Styles very proud of himself.
I'm telling you, he's looking for another Emmy. I don't think they give Emmys in wrestling, though. Maybe a slammy, but not an Emmy.
That's a suplex, not a slam.
Well,
Kicks out there.
5 minutes gone by, 5 minutes.
That was my bad. I used to get hit in the head a lot.
I kind of feel bad for Brandon, to tell you the truth, because he's got to control the obnoxious nature of Jordan Styles and the very aggressive nature of AJ Matthews.
Yeah, I definitely don't envy Brandon right now in this situation.
And the thing about Styles, though, Paul, is as we've said, and we've seen it in this matchup, inside those ring ropes, the guy can go. I mean, make no mistake about it.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's just sometimes he spends too much time trying to pat himself on the back.
Tagging to AJ here. Nice tandem offense from the Rise contingent. Forcing Alexander to kick out once again. And this is just blatant choking, which is so diametrically opposed in this tag team because you never see Brandon K doing something like that.
No, but let's face it, AJ Matthews is a bit more of the ruffian of this group here. He's learned a lot of the basic techniques, but he'd rather smack you in the mouth.
Oh yeah, make no mistake about it. AJ Matthews, bowling shoe ugly. And so's his wrestling style.
Well, but look at the way he used his entire body on that Irish whip into the corner. So he's paid attention a little bit, but sometimes he gets confused out there.
I think he just develops tunnel vision. You know, he's almost too aggressive.
Yeah,
I mean, over-aggression can be just as harrowing as being underprepared, really.
Yeah, he definitely shows a lot of aggression in that ring. Bowling ball style maneuver by Jordan Styles. I knew that was going to happen.
Snapping the knee, that's a good way to tear a patella tendon.
That is for sure.
So many susceptible spots in the knee, the ACL, the MCL, the meniscus, the patella tendon.
And I have none of them.
Yeah, and I don't have to tell you because you're just all titanium.
Thank you.
Come on, off the throttle. Let's go.
And now going right to the eyes. And Vance Desmond has rightfully had enough of this. Brandon Kay doesn't look very happy because, quite frankly, you know this because you're very close with Brandon Kay. Brandon Kay thrives on competition. That's what his entire retirement tour is about.
And Brandon almost to a detriment to his team at this point, though. I mean, let's face it. I mean, I made my bones as a tag team wrestler. You know, there's nothing wrong with stretching the rules a little bit. You know, and I know Brandon wants to be fair in this contest, but hey, sometimes you just got to take a step or two towards that line.
What do you say, Dustin?
Matthews now trying to isolate Dustin Alexander, something you can speak to as far as tag team strategy goes. And let me ask you this, Paul. I mean, you primarily made your career as a tag wrestler. How does a six-man tag matchup strategically? How does that differentiate from a traditional tag match?
Well, in all honesty, I mean, other than the extra guy in the ring, you basically have the same strategy. Draw that imaginary line diagonally down the ring, keep one of the opponents in your half of that ring, wear them down, and eventually get the win.
And I believe Brandon just tagged himself in.
Yes, he did.
I believe he's a little tired from these shenanigans, both from Jordan and AJ. Buries a fist
there it is. That patented Russian leg sweep.
And look at how well Brandon transitions from maneuver to maneuver. He knew exactly where he was going each step of the way, follows the game plan to a T. Absolutely perfectly done.
Like I said before, Brandon might think he's lost a step, but he definitely has not.
Paul, I don't know about you, but there's something unsettling when AJ Matthews and Jordan Styles are on the same page.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. They're definitely both on different sides of the book, that's for sure. Brandon now taking a commanding control of this match right now.
Lateral press here. Finds 2.5. You know, before we went on the air tonight, Paul, Jordan Styles is backstage listening to Luther Vandross.
Go figure.
And I'd bet you $1 that AJ Matthews is not listening to Luther Vandross.
It was country. That's what he was listening to, country. Viking country, I guess. I don't know.
Dustin Alexander trying to fight from underneath here, but he's in the wrong part of town. As you said, Paul, in the wrong corner. He may be on borrowed time.
That's it. You draw that diagonal line.
And again, getting his knee wrenched. Back suplex.
And again, keeping him in their half of the ring.
10 minutes gone by, 10 minutes.
Away from his partners.
That really shows you the ring IQ of Jordan Styles. He knew exactly the maneuver to choose to put Dustin Alexander back in the opposing corner.
Yeah, despite the arrogance, the man is very well versed in professional wrestling.
It's a rather ugly looking senton, but it was damn sure effective.
That's true. There's a lot of weight behind that.
Matthews grabs a front chantry to again try to control the positioning of Alexander.
And again, keeping them in their half of that ring.
Making frequent tags. If you can, speak to the value of those frequent tags. How often did you use frequent tags in your matchup? How critical was it to success?
Well, this way you always keep a fresh man in the ring while wearing down your opponent. It's very critical. You keep that fresh man in there at all times. Short, quick, couple maneuvers, get another guy in. Nobody on your team wears down, but at the same time, you're wearing down your opponent.
And Brandon now
joining in on the festivities,
leading the crowd in an anti-Jordan Styles chant. Nice Pele kick from Alexander, but how much does he have left in the tank? AJ from around the other side takes out both Desmond and Manic.
I'm sorry, I know Brandon's not real thrilled with that, but that is a sound tag team strategy, believe it or not, because now here's Dustin Alexander looking for a tag, and there is nobody home. Advantage, Stronghold.
Come on.
And Jordan Styles just measured Alexander, floats over.
Kind of a modified spine buster there.
And Brandon chastising Jordan Styles. Oh, what the hell's going on here?
Brandon is taking his students to task right now. There's no two ways about that. I don't know. This might be some kind of reverse psychology, I think.
Speaking of Independence Day coming up, this is a wrestling version of the Civil War, I think.
I'm telling you.
Alexander returns in kind with a spine buster of his own.
I think he got a little more of that than Jordan Styles got on his, but now both men down. But if you notice, once again, Dustin Alexander is not in his half of the ring. Jordan Styles has blocked that off.
Vance is begging for a tag.
These men are close to not making a cow up. There he goes. He got the tag to AJ Matthews.
In comes Jack Manic. The kamikaze willing to take a risk. Jack Manic is a dynamic athlete, I'll tell you that.
He just baited in AJ Matthews on that one.
Larry takes him down, lateral
He's not
press.
going to get it here. He did not hook that leg.
Not enough body on body contact either.
No, Manic is definitely the smaller man. He needs to cinch that leg tight when he goes for a cover like that.
Vance Desmond finally getting in the squared circle here. Looking to take AJ Matthews to school. Elevates Matthews. Matthews out the back door. And AJ very frantically makes a tag to Brandon.
Crowd, here we go.
German. Vance puts on the brakes. Jumping kick, I believe, caught Brandon in the temple. Brandon is all out of sorts. Gets elevated. Finley roll, beautifully done.
Desmond going up now.
Spiral tap, no water in the pool, twisting, senton, big risk, no reward that time.
Brandon showing that 20 years of experience, knowing being one step ahead of his opponent. Now he's trying to get back up.
Misdirection.
He got that.
Plants Alexander.
Brandon's loaded up.
And what's Jordan Styles doing in the ring with the Emmy?
And I think
Styles wanted to use the Emmy. And this dissension is completely boiled over.
And that's that.
Matthews has been KO'd. Jordan Styles has been KO'd.
Brandon's been sent to the floor.
And a triple team.
And that's it.
And this Rise trio has disintegrated.
As the result of a pinfall from the Violence Academy, Jack Manic, Dustin Alexander, and Vance Desmond.
Too much dissension, too much contention, too much animosity between the Rise trio.
And right now, Brandon seems to be the only one standing for his side.
Hey, you do the best you can with them, with some kids. You see right work with this?
Jordan Styles.
You can play music. I'll sing.
Jordan Styles has a bright future, I'm sure.
I know.
AJ Matthews, maybe not so much.
And the immortal words of Paul Atlas, dude, press play.
I don't need this school. I'm simply better by myself. You old, past the prime idiot.
And we're going to dump Matthews out of the ring.
Shut up.
Brandon giving a sportsmanlike hand to his man.
And
don't be calling me out, dude.
I'm going to call this an official, unofficial retirement for AJ Matthews. Paul, sing some notes, man.
I can't carry a tune in a steamroller, buddy.
How about my way, Paul?
All right, we'll do it your way.
And now the end is near. There we go.
Hey, he found the play button. That's all I can say.
IndyWrestling.network exclusive karaoke and professional wrestling.
I know. What are you gonna do?
Are you ready? Is you ready? Whole squad ready? We came to
He is a product of the Violence Academy. Weighing in tonight at 200 pounds. He is the mighty Tyr Ali.
June 28th, 2019, second half of UpRyse here, exclusively on the Indie Wrestling Network. My name's Jim Amata, still here with Pittsburgh legend Paul Atlas. This is a man returning to UpRyse, one Tyr Ali, a very intense athlete. And his aggression may carry him to victory, a very pivotal contest as Tyr Ali squares off against the gatekeeper of UpRyse, one Payton Graham.
Are you ready? Is you ready? Whole squad ready? We came here to see Jim. What you got? No.
And introducing his opponent.
You can either play by the rules or you can be the exception.
Party harder, work hard, party harder, work hard, party harder. I'm like have a good deal on the track.
He hails from Providence, Rhode Island, weighing in tonight at 303 pounds. He is the Destroyer, Payton Graham.
A 9-year pro, a gritty bruiser that has made his bones all throughout the tri-state area. A man that has continued to play a pivotal role here in UpRyse. The measuring stick of UpRyse. Payton Graham looking to be the standard in which upcoming talents are measured against.
Yeah, calling himself the gatekeeper, he believes he is the man who can make or break you in UpRyse. But let's face it, Tyr Ali calls himself the mighty and believes he is truly destined for great things in this business, and he's going to try to use Payton Graham as that stepping stone to the main roster.
Well, quite simply, Paul, if Tyr Ali wants to make waves here in UpRyse, and of course in Rise itself, he's going to have to get past Payton Graham. Payton Graham has been chosen as the true test for up-and-comers here. And as you heard it, Tyr Ali clearly has a plan. A very cocky, braggadocious young man with just 3 years in the wrestling business. He thinks he's already great.
Yeah, well, you remember the words of the immortal Mike Tyson, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
And Payton Graham, a true bruiser, no finesse, all impact in his game. He really knows how to move that weight around. a true bona fide heavyweight is Payton Graham. Tir Ali with an experience disadvantage, just 3 years in the game, but you have to think that this guy's going to grow by leaps and bounds if he's already this good this early. And there's Graham with that size, puts Tir Ali down to the canvas, excuse me. Another stiff collar and elbow tie up here.
Yeah, these guys are locking up like two bulls right now, both looking for a leverage advantage.
And you're seeing the veteran presence of Graham able to reverse the positioning and really put a hammering down on Tir Ali.
And there's that punch in the face we talked about.
Make no mistake about it, it's no accident that Payton Graham has those knuckles covered up, because he can throw some shots. And just squashes Tir Ali in the corner that time.
Now, Tir Ali is not a small man, but Payton Graham has a definite size advantage against him right now.
And look at the transition from Graham.
Turned him inside out.
Tir Ali seeking the safety of the outside, maybe checking his teeth. A vicious clothesline. As you said, sent him inside out.
Yeah, Tir Ali taking the wrestling version of a timeout to gather his senses.
Payton Graham, living up to his name, going to press the advantage here. No surcease, no safety for Tir Ali.
Payton Graham just lighting up Tir Ali right now.
And Payton Graham really enjoys his role here in UpRyse. He loves to be tested by these enthusiastic young athletes. But Tir Ali may be a little too enthusiastic, give himself maybe a little too much credit.
Yeah.
The guy's a great athlete, but he'll tell you he's already great. He's already the best.
Well, he's going to have to back it up here tonight at UpRyse if he wants to prove himself worthy of the main roster.
And this is an innovative maneuver here as Tir Ali has Payton Graham all tied up in the ropes.
Yeah, watch putting your hands on that ref, kid. You're going to end up on the short side of the purse.
Drop kick, I believe he may have caught Graham in the quad muscle.
Either the quad or the hamstring. You see him trying to work that leg out right now. Might even caught him right on the knee.
If you dislocate a kneecap, that's the end of your night, quick.
Yeah, we're going home early for sure.
And there's the wisdom beyond his years. Tir Ali saw Payton Graham favoring the knee and immediately latches onto the knee like a pit bull there, really going to target the knee. May make it at the precipice of his offense.
Yeah, like we've stated before, in the words of Arn Anderson, a three-legged table is no good to any man.
And you can see Graham trying to use the right leg to create some space there. And again, that shows you his 9 years in the industry. You know, he really knows how to protect himself in there.
Yeah, he's trying to cover up that injury.
This braggadocious nature of Tir Ali may cost him, because right now he's giving Graham a chance to recover.
Yeah, you don't worry about those fans at ringside. You worry about winning.
Shotgun drop kick in the corner, caught Payton right in the stomach that time. That's a good way to lose your lunch.
And right back on that knee.
Come on, stay off that ropes. Let's go.
I mean, make no mistake about it, Tir Ali definitely has a game plan. He definitely has a strategy. He is definitely wise beyond his years in having both of those.
You really can't play games like this, though. I understand it's part of his braggadocious nature, but I mean, Paul, we've sung your praises many times, and rightfully so. You were active in the ring for 25 years. You know as well as anybody. You can't hesitate on any of them.
No, I can tell you what. Anytime anybody was trying to work a body part of mine like that, you give me an opportunity, I'm going to knock your teeth out.
And 5 minutes gone by. 5 minutes.
This is the vicious side of Tir Ali as he's just looking to wrench and twist, contort on the knee. And Graham is getting very desperate. You know, Graham obviously is hurt. He's trying to grab on to anything he can here.
That's what he's definitely trying to get, anything he can, any advantage he can right now. If he doesn't get that, Tir Ali is going to get a victory tonight and prove that he is better than the gatekeeper and deserves a shot.
I'm going to be the standing bearer after this.
I gotta tell you, Paul, I truly believe this is gonna cost Tir Ali.
Yeah, he's getting a little too full of himself right now. You can't do that. You cannot give somebody like Payton Graham an opportunity.
And the way that Tir Ali can just roughhouse his opponents around, and that shows you how much potential this guy brings to the table, but he's going to be short-sighted if he doesn't put this thing away.
Yeah, I'm not taking anything away from his ability, but once again, it's that psyche of a young athlete who sometimes thinks that being braggadocious is better than being good. Or smart, if you will.
Tir Ali looking to take Graham away from the ropes. And again, just trying to twist and contort the kneecap, which is just a real nasty side of professional wrestling. I mean, there's a lot of that. These submission holds can do some serious damage.
That's part of the reason I sit out here with you now, Jim.
And Tir Ali trying to cinch up on the leverage as well. And again, I'm telling you, this guy has so much potential if he can only just keep his head on straight.
Yeah, there's a time and place for adulation of yourself. There's a time and place to show that cocky bravado, but not until that bell rings and you have that victory.
And if you need any proof of his talent, how many of our UpRyse competitors have really put Payton Graham in this much jeopardy?
Yeah,
it's very rare.
I've yet to see, since Payton's been back, him in this much trouble.
And keep in mind, this is going to be an Indie Wrestling Network exclusive, so certainly to see more Payton Graham, make sure you subscribe. If you're watching us on preview clip on YouTube, get over to the Indie Wrestling Network as Tir Ali got sent up into the lights.
I mean, come on, it's $5.99 a month. Skip one of those fancy coffees during the month, and you can have all this action at your fingertips.
I'll tell you what, Paul, I don't need a French latte, cooled ice, choco, whatever the hell it is.
That's it.
Just give me a month of the Indie Wrestling Network instead.
That's right. Like my coffee, like I like my women. Black and strong.
I hear you, brother. And his knee just completely gave out.
Yeah, I don't know. I think his knee may be torn at this point. There may be some serious damage to that knee. He can't even stand on it at this point, Jim.
And Tir Ali knew exactly what he was doing going for that Irish whip, because he knew that would put more pressure on the kneecap as Graham went to step forward.
Payton's in a lot of trouble right here. The ref might think about calling this before he's permanently unable to walk.
Well, Paul, you can speak to it, because before you got that titanium knee replacement, you had several knee injuries.
Yeah, several knee injuries, several knee surgeries to try to correct those problems. That knee is a very delicate joint. It doesn't matter how big your leg muscles are, your thigh muscles, your calf muscles, that joint is still very delicate.
If Payton Graham would find himself on the end of an injury here, how long is he looking if he was on the sidelines?
It depends on the extent. He could be out anywhere from 6 months to a year, and if it's totally damaged, like in my case, he could be done.
Graham trying to gut through, elevates Ali, Death Valley driver. And that quick.
You can either play by the rules.
Here's your winner as the result of a pinfall, the Destroyer, Payton Graham.
That quick, a flash victory from Tir Ali, who was in firm control of this matchup. But the bigger story may be the health of Payton Graham, because he took a hell of a beating to that knee.
Yeah, right now he's needing the referee's help to get to the back here.
They don't come quite as tough and quite as gritty as Payton Graham. But I have to think that even in defeat, Tir Ali made a statement here at the Stronghold.
From the Ohio Pro Wrestling Academy, at a combined weight of 610 pounds, the team of Crosshairs Kelly and Pat the Bruiser, Warhorse.
Violence personified is Warhorse. Pat the Bruiser and Crosshairs Kelly are making a case not just here at UpRyse, but maybe even for those Rise Tag Team Championships currently held by System Elite.
Yeah, they're not necessarily calling out our tag team champions. They want any kind of tag team champion in general. And if that happens to be System Elite.
Introducing their opponents. From the Iron City Wrestling Academy, the Ronin, Stevie LeBell. And his tag team partner. He hails from the Imagination Station. He is your imaginary friend, Billy Ruxpin.
One of the most eccentric athletes on the UpRyse roster, and perhaps one of the most eccentric tag teams that we've seen here at UpRyse. Billy Ruxpin, Stevie LeBell, two diametrically opposed athletes. LeBell, a martial arts practitioner, and Billy Ruxpin is an imaginary friend.
Well, let me ask you this: if he's imaginary, is he really there? You got nothing, huh? I have left Jim LaMotta speechless, folks.
That's a first.
Yes, it is.
Takes a lot to shut me up.
Don't I know it?
I've legitimately called shows with laryngitis before, so or bronchitis. I'm sorry, bronchitis. Get my rightitis.
Something-itis.
But in any event, here, Indie Wrestling
back
Network.
to the action.
Here, Indie Wrestling Network exclusive, UpRyse Pro Wrestling, Warhorse take on the combination of Stevie LeBell and Billy Ruxpin. For Warhorse, I believe there's much more on the line for them personally because they want to make that case for championship gold. They can't come up on the losing end in any situation, any scenario. For Billy Ruxpin and Stevie LeBell, if they are victorious here, they make their case to potentially join the Rise roster.
And I don't know if winning really means much to them. I mean, they're just kind of there.
Well, Billy Ruxpin better not look to make friends with Crosshairs Kelly because Crosshairs does not look like the most sociable human being on the planet.
They don't call him Crosshairs for nothing. He's going to get you right in them and knock your lights out.
I mean, he's less sociable than you.
That's true. And they got to drag me out here just to do this. No, that's not true. I enjoy it.
Some strong words from Crosshairs Kelly.
And apparently Billy Ruxpin's had enough.
I'm not sure what our rating here on the Indie Wrestling Network is, so I'm not going to repeat what Crosshairs said.
I think it's a family-friendly show, so you might not want to.
Stevie LeBell, who will certainly not look to make friends with anybody, martial arts practitioner, has studied Muay Thai extensively and looks to really employ that, looks to transition that form of combat sports to the squared circle.
Is he any relation to Judo Gene LeBell?
I think he's a great nephew, but it's unconfirmed reports.
What makes him so great?
Maybe he gets some nice Christmas presents.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
My Uncle Willie was great.
Yeah, but that was for other reasons.
Yeah, Willie Visconti. He had all kind of connections.
That's it.
Those are also unconfirmed connections.
Yes. We don't talk about that.
Top wrist lock here, Crosshairs.
Yeah, looking for that wrist control, and he's got it right now.
Notice how he's bending the digits on the hand for added leverage, really cinching in on it, using that such an elementary maneuver that he can use to be the utmost effective.
Yeah, it's been a nice roll through, followed by a switch by LeBell.
And in that situation, that roll through, the reason that roll through, for our fans that may not know, and you can confirm this, the reason that roll through allows for the reversal is because it neutralizes the pressure, it neutralizes the leverage.
Yes, it actually switches that pressure from one side to the other. And
Ruxpin's a little bottom heavy to nip up.
Yeah, kind of looks like a turtle on his back. And he's had enough again.
Immediately gets out of the way, which may bode well for him. And there's a judo throw by LeBell.
Uncle Gene would be so proud.
And we talked about LeBell transitioning that martial arts background into professional wrestling. You're seeing it right there on display, able to transition that judo throw directly into an armbar.
Yep, created leverage to get him over and leverage on that arm to pull back and stretch it out.
Ruxpin not quite as effective as his tag team partner.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What's something wrong?
Swinging miss from Crosshairs, headbutt.
They dotted each other's eye with that one.
He may have caught Crosshairs Kelly in the nose. And again, wise wrestling from Ruxpin, able to bring Crosshairs into their corner.
They're once again drawing that diagonal line down that ring and working your opponent.
Misdirection here. Ruxpin using that weight to just pull over Crosshairs Kelly.
Yeah, definitely no finesse about that. Just pure weight advantage. And I'm not sure, but this might be one of the bigger teams that Warhorse has ever faced so far in their careers.
Absolutely, Paul. They do not have the size advantage that they usually get to employ.
So that's going to definitely neutralize some of the offense that Warhorse is used to.
Crosshairs Kelly goes about 250. Pat the Bruiser well north of 300.
And you always got to say the same for Ruxpin and
respectively, absolutely.
LeBell.
Crosshairs Kelly avoids the contact, but you don't want to be boxed in there with Crosshairs Kelly. This guy is a tremendous striker as he just using the running boot. I believe caught LeBell right on the point of the chin that time.
Yeah,
pinpoint precision from Crosshairs Kelly.
He's definitely checking the chiclets on that one. Now the Bruiser takes over with that big uppercut.
He lives up to his name. No technique from Pat the Bruiser because he doesn't need any.
No, he's just going to knock your lights out, pick you up, and knock them out again.
You know, Pat the Bruiser reminds me of another Bruiser, Bruiser Brody, because Pat the Bruiser, as big as he is so agile. I mean, it's honestly, if we weren't seeing it in front of us, it's almost unbelievable how well that guy can move.
Tremendous agility for a man his size. Yeah, Ruxpin is not doing his partner any favors right now, John, with the referee.
5 minutes gone by, 5 minutes.
If Officer Dan needs a copy of Kelly's fingerprints, he can check the torso of Stevie LeBell.
They'll be dusting them for prints later. Now look at the advantage here as they press the referee.
That's nasty, just trying to choke out Stevie LeBell. Ruxpin hits the floor. And this is where Ruxpin and LeBell, not being a normal regularly teaming pair, is really coming back to haunt them because they do not have the tag team cohesion of Warhorse.
That's it. That continuity of knowing your partner and knowing what he's going to do, that's definitely a huge disadvantage for the team.
The tandem offense of Warhorse is really why they are such a successful tag team. In fact, currently they are the RCW Tag Team Champions out of Ohio. So when it comes to championship pedigree, Warhorse already brings that to the table, and they want to add more gold to their resume.
Yeah, they definitely have that hunger to gather more championships under their belt as they continue with their careers. And these two guys are definitely going to accomplish it with the way they work together as of right now.
You know, LeBell has shown some real flashes of talent here, but he may be in a unfavorable scenario because I don't think any one athlete is going to be able to fight off the offense of Warhorse.
No, as big as LeBell is, I still don't think I think the power of Warhorse is going to come out on top in the end.
Wait, head and arm choke here, Paul. Head and arm choke. Pat the Bruiser. This is an MMA maneuver as well.
Yeah, he's trying.
If Pat the Bruiser can fully get on the other side of the arm, he was very close to being able to choke LeBell out there. How apropos would that be?
Exactly.
LeBell, obviously being well-versed in martial arts, knew how to defend that, but Pat the Bruiser, if he would have been able to transition to his right just a little further, he would have been able to fully cinch in that head and arm choke.
Yeah, he was able to block that out so he couldn't get it fully in there. Now Warhorse showing you that tag team ability, that tag team tandem maneuvers that they have.
Big shot in the corner.
I think they knocked the big man out.
And did you see how Crosshairs Kelly he's raking his forearm across the face.
Yep.
Even on that pinfall attempt, Crosshairs Kelly pushing that forearm down on the chest, forcing LeBell to use as much energy as possible to kick out.
Form of a crossface when cinching that pin in.
I mean, it's those little details that really make Warhorse as dangerous as they are. Yep. STO gets blocked.
Oh, listen to those thunderous forearms across the back and neck area.
That's a good way to rearrange your spine. I got to be honest, Paul, I am so impressed with Warhorse each and every time they're out here.
You know, as a tag team specialist, I am too. These guys are without a doubt a good tandem. They work well together. They know what they're doing, and they are worthy of all the accolades that they have at this point.
And we've talked so much about their physical game. Clearly, we're seeing some psychological warfare in play here as well, because they are continuing to try to slap on a submission to the martial arts expert, who I believe finally got a version of an STO trip with some real desperation there to try to make it to the corner. But I don't know if LeBell's going to have enough.
No, I don't know. He's pretty out on his feet right now. I don't know if he's going to be able to get over there and make that tag or not. Kelly's got his tag. LeBell makes it into Ruxpin. Look out. Wow, like two freight trains.
And I believe that the imaginary friend realizes how much physical danger he's in, because he has psyched himself up to really fight here. Big right hand.
Takes him off his feet. Can he get the Bruiser off too?
Look out. What power. Unbelievable.
Wow.
What an upset.
That close. I thought that was it, Jim.
That would have made headlines, Paul. I'm not trying to sell LeBell or Ruxpin short, but if they can pick up a victory here as a newly formed tag team.
That exactly is it. They are not a regular tag team. This would be one hell of a feather in their cap if they can pull out this victory.
Oh, look out. Here comes the Bruiser. Cannonball in the corner, using all that mass as a weapon. Ruxpin kicks out. You know, it's one thing, Ruxpin's a little eccentric. A little more than a little eccentric. But the guy, he gets in there and he fights. He gives it everything he has. Kelly hits the floor.
I'll tell you what, this has been nothing but a car crash from the beginning of this match. Ruxpin's got him up now.
What power from Ruxpin.
Oh, right in the head. Samoan drop. This could be it.
Upset?
No.
And mere inches away, and again, I'm going to say it, if LeBell and Ruxpin pull out the upset, that is going to make headlines around Pittsburgh wrestling.
Well, this would definitely almost guarantee them a spot on the Rise main roster.
And let's not forget, Paul, Rise returns to the Stronghold in just a few weeks on July 20th. As we see LeBell hitting anyone in striking distance.
Well-placed strikes to both men.
And that quick, the complexion of this matchup changes.
Yeah, these two hard hitters, they can knock you out in the blink of an eye. Just like that.
Oh, look out here.
They got him up. And drove him into the canvas.
Game over. An abrupt and sudden end.
Winners as the result of a pinfall. Pat the Bruiser, and Crosshairs Kelly, Warhorse!
Warhorse is making a case that they may very well be the most violent tag team in the Stronghold.
And I'll tell you what, the bigger story here may be Ruxpin and LeBell put on one hell of a match out here tonight and came very close to beating Warhorse.
He is a product of the Ohio Pro Wrestling Academy, weighing in tonight at 215 pounds, representing UpRyse. He is the upgrade, Chase Winters.
You know, Paul, the last time we were in this building for UpRyse, back in March, it was Chase Winters' tag team partner, Tyler Vox, who defeated Calvin Couture in a barn burner feature presentation to gain entry to Rise. Can Chase do the same?
That's exactly Chase Winters.
And introducing his opponent.
Chase Winters is definitely looking to follow in Tyler Vox's footsteps and get to that main roster. But right now, he's got to face the Macabre Bayou Scarecrow in order to get there. And all we know is Christian Noir, he's looking to step on everybody's dream that he can.
From the Stronghold Academy, weighing in tonight at 209 pounds, he is the Bayou Scarecrow, Christian Noir.
From Romero's worst nightmare. He is a walking horror film. Christian Noir.
This guy gives Freddy Krueger nightmares.
He is looking to derail the hopes of Chase Winters. It is time for our feature presentation. My name is Jim Amato, joined by Paul Atlas, Indie Wrestling Network exclusive UpRyse. Chase Winters goes one-on-one with Christian Noir. If Winters is victorious, he will join the Rise roster.
Your boy made it, but you're not making it.
And considering the rivalry between Rise and the Grindhouse, the tension in this building has elevated significantly since Noir made his way out here. Wide strategy from Chase Winters, going to try to out-technique the very unorthodox Christian Noir.
Now, like I said, Christian Noir looks to step on people's dreams, and he's trying to squash the hopes of Chase Winters here tonight. And like you said, with the Grindhouse being in the house tonight, there is definitely tension, especially after what happened on our last Rise event, DDT, and Shirley Doe DDTing our owner's wife and co-owner of Rise, Christy K, in that very ring.
Yeah, one of the most horrific scenes that I've ever seen in my 10 plus years in the wrestling business. And that has created an entirely new level to the hatred between Rise and the Grindhouse. Noir up and over, Lucha pass. Winters lands on his feet, nice agility. Sends Noir down to the mat.
Nice high hip toss by Chase Winters on that one.
Chase Winters is a young man that, if you had to define him by one word, it would be potential, because he has no flaws in his game, very well rounded, just needs the experience to polish everything up.
Yeah, but let's not forget, Christian Noir, sometimes winning is not what's on his mind. Destroying his opponent is more or less what is.
And there you're seeing the unorthodox nature of Noir. Deep arm drag from Winters. And another to follow up. 2 feet firmly in the chest, sends Noir down to the canvas again.
Yeah,
for a 2 count.
Notice the technique on those arm bars. Deep under the armpit, using all his body weight to flip Noir over, and hooking it again and going right back to it.
Chase Winters looking to capitalize on the momentum here. But Noir wisely putting the brakes on. Shoots him in. Standing switch from Noir. Winters returns in kind. And a blatant low blow. No surprise there. Noir exploited the position of the referee and now using his body as a weapon with that leg lariat.
Yeah, and it's things like that that make Christian Noir so dangerous.
And now at this point he's just trying to asphyxiate Chase Winters. We've seen Noir put his body on the line. This guy just doesn't care.
No, like I said, sometimes winning is not what's on his mind. He wants to destroy his opponent. He'd be perfectly content with Chase Winters not being able to walk out of here tonight, let alone gain a victory over him.
Did you see the placement of that elbow right to the spine?
Yep. Now stepping on the back of the neck.
Noir spewing real venom here. This guy, he's just nasty.
Trying to remind everybody here what their place is here in UpRyse.
Noir cinches him up here. Textbook suplex.
Yeah, float over into the cover. And see, this is what I mean. Noir is a veteran of this sport right now. He doesn't hook the leg. I don't even think he cared if he would have pinned him or not.
Oh, and this is, oh man. Trying to wrench on the digits.
I'm sure. I think he even tried to take a bite out of his hand.
Yeah, it's a whole new meaning to finger food. Winters able to counter, but does he have enough to follow up here? Going to be a real test of durability for Chase Winters. Rolling elbow caught Winters right on the jaw.
Another shot right to the side of the head, almost the temple area.
Yeah, that time was just blunt force trauma. And unfortunately for Chase Winters, he is not in a good way right now.
No, I'd say right now right now with what's going on there, he is not going to join Tyler Vox at the main roster if this continues.
And you'd have to think, how disheartening would that be that only one half of Frostbite would make it to the Rise roster?
Yeah, it would definitely be disheartening for Chase Winters if he can't follow in the footsteps of his partner.
And that's exactly what Noir likes to inflict. Noir wants to play spoiler to a Frostbite reunion in Rise. In fact, you have to look at it this way. Noir could be looking to ruin any championship aspirations that Frostbite may have, because if Chase Winters doesn't win this matchup, doesn't secure that Rise contract, Frostbite obviously isn't going to be in any championship conversation.
Without a doubt, without a doubt. And that's the kind of spoiler that any member of Grindhouse really wants to play.
And
look
a
at this
unique
here.
counter, a Kakita clutch.
Trying to force Noir to tap out.
Noir very close to the ropes, though.
But look at that, he turns it into a pin and makes Chase Winters have to break the hold.
What a lariat, he caught him right under the jaw. Cover here. Paul, if you can, how important is the placement of certain strikes in terms of their effectiveness?
Well, let's face it, anything that a head and neck area is definitely going to cause a lot of trauma. It can knock you out. Anything to the lower extremities, to the legs, going to be you can't stand, and anything to that midsection and torso can take your breath away. So any placement of those strikes in any of those areas, it's a definite advantage. If you can knock the wind out of your opponent, you can scramble his brains, or you can render him unable to stand.
And we know that Noir targets his offense to whatever game plan he has coming into this thing.
Yeah.
And his game plan may just be to humiliate Chase Winters in the course of this matchup.
Well, that's definitely the Grindhouse MO. Ruin everything at all cost.
Yeah, humiliation and exploitation. are what the Grindhouse have become known for.
Winners caught that leg.
Noir got overzealous and got caught. STO trip. Noir bouncing off the canvas.
Looks like he's going to the top here.
Chase is going to take a chance.
Yeah, Noir caught him.
That's why it's high risk, Paul. Noir has him up.
Going for that Oklahoma slam.
Got him off the buckle. And we're seeing some tenacity from Chase Winters. He knows what's on the line here. He's not going to let it go easily.
Yeah, Chase Winters knows that if he does not hang in here, he will not make the Rise roster, and that is not what he came here tonight for.
Chase Winters quite literally on the ropes here, trying to work his way back up to his feet. And Noir latching on like a pit bull.
And again, biting at the ear and the facial features of Chase Winters.
How do you prepare for an opponent that's trying to bite your damn ear off?
I don't know. I mean, don't tenderize it, I guess.
This is more that psychological warfare from Noir.
He will get inside your head.
He loves to play mind games.
And he's learned from the best in Shirley Doe on how to play those mind games.
Nice up kick from Chase Winters, but I don't think he's gonna have enough to follow up here.
No, I don't think so. But there again, we talked about the placement of the strike, and just like that, a leg right to the back of the head, and Christian Noir is down. And this will give Chase Winters somewhat of a chance to try and gain his faculties and hopefully get back into this match.
Well, it's gut check time here. How much does Chase Winters want that Rise roster spot? How much does he want to make his debut full-time on the Rise roster?
Both men back to their feet now.
And we're seeing Chase Winters fight with a sense of urgency.
Yeah, he knows it's now or never here. He's got to pull out the win here real quicker. This could be all over for him in a heartbeat.
He's willing to take a chance. Plants Noir down. Noir hit the canvas very awkwardly.
Oh, a little payback there.
Tremendous axe kick. Beautiful ability displayed.
He's got the leg hooked. I think he's got him.
No! Chase Winters was mere inches away from that Rise contract.
And once again, Noir playing the role of the spoiler, kicks out at the very last minute.
Chase is measuring Noir. On Noir counter, Samoan drop.
He got him. He got all of that on him.
Noir suckered Winters in. Noir was absolutely ready to counter that time.
Yeah.
10 minutes gone by, 10 minutes.
But once again, not hooking that leg.
Come on, Chase! Come on, guys.
And again, at this juncture, will Chase Winters be able to will himself back up to his feet?
Yeah, both men now up to an upright position.
Will himself toward a Rise contract. He ducks under. Bicycle knee blocked.
God, he's got him up again.
Codebreaker racking the jaw
got
of
the leg
Christian
hooked.
Noir, who gets out and again mere inches away from signing that Rise contract.
Look at that exchange. Both men fighting right now for their proverbial lives here in this ring.
He says Noir.
You have to think, Paul, if Noir comes up short on this end, he's going to have to answer to the rest of the Grindhouse.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's a good thing for him.
Goes for the miss.
He misses it.
Jumping knee caught Noir right under the chin.
Winters going for it all again by going to that top rope.
Winters is going for a home run swing.
It's all or nothing here for Chase Winters.
Swanton, and he hits it.
This got to be it.
No!
Oh my God, where did he find the energy to kick out after that?
What will it take?
I mean, you've got to give Christian Noir credit, too. He's hanging in there. He is not going to let Chase Winters have this match easily.
Chase Winters looks dejected. He looks emotionally drained.
He swung for the fences there, and he came up short. You would be, too. He's putting everything into this.
Noir trying to use referee George as a shield, and now this time he hits him with the mist. Chase Winters can't see, got hit with the Ace Crusher,
and that is
Noir has done it.
There will be no Frostbite reunion now. Grindhouse got what it wanted.
This match as the result of a pinfall, the Bayou Scarecrow, Christian Noir.
And Noir has ruined the hopes and the aspirations of Chase Winters.
He has set out what he wanted to do. He wanted to make sure Chase Winters didn't get to that main roster, and Chase Winters will not be making it to Rise Wrestling.
The Grindhouse has run roughshod over Rise, and the nightmare has come to UpRyse. Christian Noir victorious. Chase Winters denied his chance at the Rise roster.
Chase Winters can't handle the heat.
Yeah, this young man gave it everything he had, but in the end, it was just not enough to defeat Christian Noir.
Paul, it's been a tremendous night. We got to sign off for the Indie Wrestling Network and Sidekick Media. My name's Jim LaMotta. He's Paul Atwis. Remember, Rise, July 20th. The next time we're back in this building. We'll see you next time.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.